Hey everyone, this is Ken, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on a multi-sorting storage system, which pretty much means that the chest itself is not only going to sort the items, but also store it at the same time. Now check this out. What makes this really cool is the fact that each chest could be set up to any kind of items you want sorted out. You see? And the cool thing is you can really arrange it to your personal customization, right? You can have tons of items in one chest, and whatever you put in the system is going to get sorted out to that specific location. You see what I mean? So check it out. We got some spruce wood, some oak wood planks, and a little bit of iron. And once you put it in there, the system's going to activate immediately. And if you see inside these chests, you're going to notice that the items are going to be flowing to those exact locations of where these items are located. See? Look at that. That's awesome. And even the iron ingots are going to the exact spot. Look at that. That's perfect. Now, another cool feature this also has is the fact that it also has a nice filter system. Meaning, if you put an item that doesn't belong in the system, or say an item just completely bypassed or for whatever cause didn't get sorted out, is going to bypass all these chests and drop off right here in this location. And the cool thing about this is the fact that even if there's just one item in there, that light will go off. See? Letting you know that there's something inside. Now, for this tutorial, we're going to be making this size or this type of format. But guys, you could literally make this any size you want. It's literally sky's the limit. There is no restriction on how big you really want to make this. Now right here, I made a much larger scale and I try to add every single item inside with that same exact concept. Now, the original designer of this type of style was Tango Tek. He made an awesome video which was great. I loved it. The whole concept and idea of it was amazing. But there were certain things I had problems with, especially with the console, especially on PlayStation and Xbox. I was coming across a lot of problems, especially when you made this design in a large scale. Because believe it or not, Redstone does act real choppy on the console version than the PC version. Now, if you look behind, you're going to notice that my Redstone style and the design layout of it is a bit different. All right, I made a lot of different improvements on it. And I want to explain why. Now right in front of us we have a smaller version of the design, but the same redstone pattern is set up in the back. Now as you can see, the whole point is so we can have a back and forth motion. Now on the PC, this kind of layout will work smooth as ice. But of course on the console it acts very funny, because after a few sections the redstone gets real choppy. I mean, if you notice right away, the system is not working in perfect sequence. I mean, the redstone on one side is not even fully powering the one on the other. Which I don't fully understand why, because it's all one piece. You see? And even the farther you go, the worse it gets. Now, in my design, I wanted to focus more on a console version where you won't come across any of these issues. Because the second you activate that button, you're going to activate the system. And you want the system, no matter what size it is, to create the same exact pattern. You see what I mean? Because this is what allows the items to be transferred evenly from one end to the other. And even on the other side, you still get that same kind of flow. Which, guys, is perfect, because that's exactly what you want. You want a system that's reliable and on point. And even at night, you can see how evenly each post goes from one end all the way to the other. So this is the basic materials you're going to need. You will be needing a block of your choice, some stairs, half slabs, pistons, sticky pistons, droppers, hoppers, trap chest, redstone block, redstone dust, redstone torch, some repeaters, comparators, redstone lamps, buttons, and some form of lighting and labeling. Now at this point, guys, make sure you pause the video because you want to have this set up ready. Now of course, if you want it bigger, you could definitely modify it, but for now make sure you have this kind of layout set up. Now, at this point, I want you to go all the way to the corner over here. And you're going to place one block right there and some redstone dust on top. Then you're going to place a block underneath it, a sticky piston on top with a piston right on top of it. Then you're going to get your comparator and place it right underneath right there with a 2-block spacing in between and a comparator facing the other direction towards a block. Then place one block on top with a regular piston in front of it, delete the block behind it, and add some redstone dust right there. Then you're going to place your redstone block in front of the sticky piston, and underneath you're going to place 2 hoppers facing each other. Perfect. Then you'll place one redstone torch on that side of the block with a repeater going forward. Then a block in front of it, and 3 pieces of redstone dust right behind it with 2 repeaters going forward. And on the first one, make sure it's on 4 ticks. Then you're going to place a block right there with a redstone torch in front of it and on top of it. Fantastic. Now at this point, you're going to place a half slab right there on the top part of that sticky piston with some redstone dust on top and a redstone lamp on top of it with 1 button in front of it. Once you've done that, I want you to place a trap chest on the side of it and a block underneath, 1 on the side and 2 more extending backwards. Then you can delete those 3 and place 3 hoppers going towards that direction. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to place a block underneath it and delete the one on top. Now at this point, guys, you're going to place 1 dropper going upwards, and you want to go 2 blocks basically from the bottom block, and you want to place a pretty much a dropper right there, if that makes sense. Then you're going to delete both blocks. Now this is the only time where the droppers are a little off, okay? Then you can extend this exactly 9 blocks high, okay? Starting from this point, you're going to count, and you're going to notice there's actually 8 blocks in total. Then you're going to place a block there, place a dropper facing inwards, place another block there, and of course you're going to extend this 8 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And on the 8th one, make sure it's facing inwards. So basically, one side on the left, it's going to be a little bigger than the one on the right. Now you're going to place a dropper there, 2 more on the side, and 1 going inwards. Then right here on top, you're going to place 1 large chest, like so, in front of it. Then let's go right behind it. You're going to place a dropper going downwards there, and 1 towards the chest itself. Now I want you to place some temporary blocks in front of it, and just extend that upwards to your parallel to the last one, you see? And the whole point is this, so you can place the hoppers towards each block. Then you're going to delete those blocks, and what you should have is a bunch of hoppers facing forward, you see? And right on top, you're going to place 1 trap chest and 1 regular chest side by side. Then I want you to place a half slab right there, 2 more on the side, and 1 solid block on top of that torch. Then you can place another half slab in front of it. Now you're going to place a block there, a half slab on the side, delete that, block on top, half slab on the side. And you're going to repeat this pattern until you get all the way to the top part. Now you want to make sure that the last one, that last half slab, is parallel to the 3rd dropper, you see? Now at this point, you're going to place a repeater going forward there, and 1 on top of that dropper, and some redstone dust right across. Then place 1 there, and at this point, you're going to place another half slab in front. Now you're going to place 2 blocks in the center with torches right in front of it. Half slab there, and of course repeaters on both ends, you see, and some redstone dust right across. Then we're going to repeat the same exact process. Place some half slabs one side, 2 blocks in the middle with some half slabs on the other side. And you're going to place repeaters on both ends, some redstone dust right across. And let's do this one more time for the pretty much the third row on top. See? Now guys, this gets very repetitive, so you're going to have to repeat this process a bunch of times. But also make sure you place those redstone torches in front of those blocks. It's very important. Otherwise, the system would not work properly. Now at this point, go about 1 block in, parallel to that dropper, and you're going to place 1 dropper there, leave 2 gaps, and 1 right there. Then you can place a hopper there and 2 on the side until you're parallel to that chest. Now over here, you're going to extend this upwards about 8 more times. Place a block there and make sure on the last one on top, it is facing inwards. See? Of course, you're going to extend this upwards. And make sure that one is also facing in the inwards direction. Then you can place a dropper right there going inwards, 2 on the side, and 1 right there going towards that dropper. Then place 1 large chest in front. And you want to make sure that that chest is facing inwards, you see? Fantastic. Now, of course, we're going to place 1 dropper going towards the chest and 1 going downwards right there on top of that hopper. Then you're going to repeat the same process of adding blocks in front of it so that your droppers could be facing forward. Once you've done that, just delete the blocks and I'm going to show you how to really connect this system to the rest. And it's actually quite simple. All you have to do is once again add some half slabs, just like so, there as well. But the difference is right there you're going to add a half slab with a repeater going forward. And you're going to do that to each level, you see? And that's how the signal is evenly distributed from one end to the other. Then of course you're going to go back to the same format. So add 2 repeaters right there with some redstone dust right across. On top of that redstone, add 2 blocks with torches in front of that block and half slabs on the side with some repeaters on top of that and some redstone dust right across. Then add once again, repeat the same process, add some blocks in the center with some half slabs on both ends, repeaters on top of it with some redstone dust right across and 2 redstone torches in the center. And of course, we're going to repeat the same exact process one more time. And if you ever want to make this even bigger, just create the same exact pattern. And it becomes very easy and repetitive at this point. Now, I'm going to show you how to make this curve without having any issues with it. Now, once again, you're going to extend the half slabs and you're going to place repeaters going outwards. Now in this case, all you have to put is 1 block there and extend that all the way up to the last repeater, you see? Fantastic, so you should have this kind of format. Now, to create the curve, just go about, place 2 droppers right there, leave 1 gap in between, and place 2 more. Now to really measure that out, just make sure you're 2 blocks at an angle from the other dropper. You're going to place 2 hoppers right there and 3 on the side so you connect with that chest. You see? Fantastic. Now place 1 hopper right there, 2 on the side and 1 facing forward. Then you'll place 1 hopper on both sides like that and a large chest on top. Place another hopper right there, 2 on the side, and 1 in front of it. Fantastic. Now, of course, at this point, guys, I want you to extend these droppers upwards, just like you did with the previous one. Now, once you've done that, you should have something just like this. once again, you're going to place a hopper going towards the chest, and on the side of it, you want that hopper going downwards. See? Then we're going to place one large chest right there, and a hopper going towards that chest. And of course, guys, make sure you place some blocks in front of it to create that hopper kind of setting. So I'm going to fast forward that just a little bit, okay? Alright, so we should be at this point of the video, and you should place a chest and a trap chest on the top part. Now, make sure you do that, because that's easily an oversight that you can easily mess up on, and you really don't want to mess that up. And of course, place that on here as well, and you're going to even that out. Now, I'm going to show you how to really connect this with the other system. Now, of course, we're going to repeat the same process of adding the half slabs on the bottom, repeaters on both ends, with some redstone dust right across. Now, the only difference is to really connect this, you're just going to add a block there and extend that all the way up. But before you do that, make sure you connect some half slabs from point A to point B. Then add a repeater towards that block with some redstone dust right behind it. Now add two half slabs right there on both ends with a block in the middle, the torch in front of that block, and repeaters on both ends. And you're going to really repeat this exact process all the way up to the top. Now, like I was saying, you're going to place a block there and extend that all the way to your parallel to the redstone dust. And you're going to place half slabs on each section, because at this point you want to connect it from point A to point B. You see? Then you're going to add the repeaters right there going forward with just redstone dust right behind it until you connect with the block from the other end. And that's how you do the whole wraparound. Now at this point, make sure you pause and you repeat that same thing on the other side, and you kind of just extend that 2 more times, you see? Now feel free to pause, because this does take some time, and I understand that. But once you've done it, you should have this kind of layout all around. Fantastic. Now let's go over here to the side, and we're going to create the basically the point where the items don't get filtered. And you're going to go about 2 blocks from that section, place 2 hoppers and 1 on the side to connect with that chest, okay? Add another dropper, a chest on top of it, and right over here you're going to delete 1, 2, and 3 on the side of it, okay? Because you want to have this 2x3 little area. Add a comparator there, a block in front of it, and on the sides as well. Add 2 pieces of redstone dust on each side with a repeater going towards that block. Then you're going to add a block right there, 1 more on top, and on the side, delete that, and a comparator going forward. Then at this point, guys, I want you to add a block on top and in front of that comparator. Then you're going to add a redstone lamp right there and 1 piece of redstone dust right there. Because believe it or not, that comparator could pick up the signal from the chest even when it's coming from the block itself, you see? Now at this point, just make sure you cover that section up. And this entire section is pretty much good to go. Now, I want you to add your flooring and just cover this entire setup with the floor of your choice. Now you're going to place 1 block in front of the droppers, but it has to be a 1 block spacing, okay? So make sure you're just 1 block away from the droppers in front of you. And at this point, you want to cover up some of the trimmings. So you want to cover up that gap in between each section. Add a block there. And at this point, you're going to extend all the blocks up to your parallel to each dropper. Now, of course, you're going to place some stairs and a block of choice on the sides. And you want to add your own little trimmings and style to it, you know. At this point, let's add your block of your choice. And you're going to extend that upwards as well on both ends. Now, what I like to personally do, you don't have to do it this way, But I like to add an upside down stairs parallel to the last chest on top, as you can see, just to cover that up. And that stairs really helps us out as far as adding the chest in between. Now what I want you to do from this point is add one large chest and a trap chest in front of you. Now in all these sections where the droppers are at, you're going to add a large chest and a trap chest side by side. And you're also going to add your labeling as well. Now the system is complete. Now I'm going to show you how to really set this up and kind of explain a little more how this works. Now for your first chest, you're going to add whatever you want. I mean, you could really set this up any which way. You just got to make sure that each chest is filled up to the max, alright? That every slot is taken, and I'm going to show you why. Now I'm going to really mix match this entire thing, alright? We're going to add a different variety and a different amount of each kind of wood. Alright? And the cool thing is you don't need a certain amount of patterns. I mean, it's really what you want more of or less of in your chest. Now that we got that set up, we're going to add 7 items of each, meaning that each one should have a total of 8. Or at least 8 added to it. Well, 7 added to it. You get the point. So the cool thing is once you put the items in, the system activates immediately. And as you can see, it works perfectly, guys. Now the great thing is when you add an item that's not part of that system, it's actually going to bypass it and go to the chest underneath it. For example, we're going to put a block of diamonds right inside, and you're going to notice it's going to go in the second chest and not in the first one. So let's get our diamond back, and I'm going to show you the reason why you need to fill up every slot. Now I'm going to take that off. I'm going to leave one empty slot right there. Now let me show you what happens when you put an item or any item inside of it in the system. It's actually going to take that place of that empty slot. Regardless if you have that organized in the rest of the other system, it's going to take that spot first, and you really don't want that because that could really mess up your system, because the more items you put in, especially the same one, is going to start sorting out in that chest and not in the others. Now at this point, guys, let's go underneath and we're going to set up the timing system to really activate the system. Now check it out. You generally want to use about 2 stacks, more or less, depending on how big you make the system. I personally would suggest using a complete 5 stacks of any item so that you have this timer on for a longer period of time. The reason for that is you want this rapid repeater to continually make a pulse within the system so that everything distributes evenly. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember to leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you.